Hello YouTube, this is Intuitive Retta. How are you? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you like your own personal reading, contact me at intuitiveretta@gmail.com. We're going to start this reading today on Wendy Williams. And I know you guys, because you guys know I don't really care about celebrity readings. But I've always had, a love and a connection to Wendy Williams. She got me through many of work mornings, drives. Like most of you guys know, when I was working as a nurse, I worked majority 3 to 11, 11 to 7. And because I worked out of state, usually when I worked, I did doubles. So those doubles could be 5 days in a row, 7 days in a row, 10 days in a row. And sometimes I was very tired. I don't know what I was thinking back then, I just had, kids in private school, and it was just, but she got me through. Her and Miss Jones. Even though I love Miss Jones, my connection to Miss Jones is not as, prominent as what Wendy is. I still keep an eye on Miss Jones here and there. I subscribe to her YouTube channel. Even though, I'm not so much into her wokeness. But neither here or there. Wendy Williams, I always kind of check on her because, we always have a friend in our head. Like she used to say, she was the friend in my head. And I only want to wish the best for her. And if you look back on my reading, a few months, like five months back, way before, could even be longer, way before, she was not able to do her show, this and that. I seen all the writings on the wall. I always tell you that a reading is a roadmap. It tells you that if you continue on your path, this is your most likely outcome, but nothing's set in stone. So if you don't like the outcome, a reading shows you where things can change. And the main thing of that reading, the main vibe of the reading, the main not push, but the goal of the reading was to, put that energy out there for her to kind of reevaluate. Because it was all had to do with Kevin, and her not getting over Kevin. And when you hold on to something, it exacerbates in other areas. So if you hold on to something, the hurt, the pain, the anger, it has to come out in any way, in other ways, and her health and drinking. At the time of the months back, I didn't see her drinking and drugging at that time. But if you look at the reading, it said things were like kind of closing in on her. The possibility was there, and she was trying to fight it off. But, as long as she dwelled on the hurt and the pain of Kevin, it was going to overwhelm her. And basically, that reading also talked about, even before it was a thought, it was saying, in about 8 months, we're going to see her walk away from her show. And I didn't want that to happen. And I still don't want that to happen. So I'm hoping right now. And I even possibly there was a energy of death. It could have she could have actually, died. The possibility was still there. The energy was her to either, that she could actually die, from whatever health issues that she's holding on to, and then also her walking away from the show. So I've seen that way before it was even thought about that she was going to walk away, of her show, this and that. So I'm going to link these videos together like on a thing. So I'm going to look at Wendy. So we all know Wendy is the moon, the hermit and the moon. So she's someone that kind of isolates herself. She's someone that is inwards, kind of emotional, could have depressive issues, could have emotional issues. So that's why this whole family thing kind of hit her hard, because she's not one to really share, and she keeps it in, and it's going to exacerbate. She's kind of a loner at heart. Even though we see her on TV and she looks happy, internally, she's a loner, and she has some issues that can trigger, mental depression, drinking, all those emotional issues. The moon kind of you know, messes with her moods and her emotions, just like it does the ocean. So I want to kind of look at her, and let's hopefully, I'm hoping that things are getting better for her. So I want to see where she is right now, Wendy Williams. Where is she right now? And then we'll look at her, you know. You know what else I wanted to do? I wanted to look at her son and her relationship, and I didn't get his birthday, and I don't feel like doing that right now. So I'm just going to look at her, and maybe in the future I'll look at their relationship. Whoops. So let me pull out a card where she's at right now. Oops. I have other... Sorry about that. I also want to do in the future back to Justin Bieber. I know he's not... I'm just curious because I know when I did his readings on my other channel, I said if they got through, they had like, the last time I did a reading, I seen like energetically where the years were going, and I was like, if he gets through these couple of years, because the couple of years that he had were going to, what was going to make them or break them. So I'm curious to see where they're at. And I have lots of subscribers that are really into them, even though I'm not. I will do a reading on him because I'm kind of curious to see where their energy is, because they had a lot to overcome to make it this far. All right. So I want to see where Wendy is. So to me, this is a contemplative, you know, kind of card. Also, at the same time, a microscope. And seeing things. So it could be she's contemplating things. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's planning or strategic, you know, strategizing things. Maybe she's, you know, it also could be maybe her eyes are being obstructed. She's not really seeing what she needs to see, and maybe she's focused on one thing and she should be focused on a lot more, and she's contemplative. We'll see how this kind of card goes into where she's at right now. So, okay. Where is Wendy Williams? She's going full steam ahead, damn the consequences. Remember, this year, for 2021, was her Empress year, so she was very sexual. The need of karma, like her wanting to get justice or vengeance out would have came. Public opinion was going to come into play. Abundance was going to come into play. But also, 2022, I'm hoping that it's better for her. 2022 is the Emperor in Death, so it's about her business, her finances, her being a boss. So I'm hoping that she uses that energy to be a boss, you know, and start businesses. Also, it's the Death card, to end things that no longer serve her, people, places, and things. So maybe in 2022 she's going to end, you know, the show as it is, or, you know, it's a time for her to end things that don't serve her and to start new things. You know, also in the Emperor and Death is the Fool, and the Fool is all about exploring, you know, doing something sporadically or spontaneously and taking that leap of faith and starting something new. So I'm hoping that for her. I'm worried about 2023 because that's the year of the Hierophant, so legal issues, getting things in order. And I'm worried about her temperance, meaning alcohol in 2023, or a chemical imbalance in regards to her. So I see right now, she's going full steam ahead. Damn the consequences. Things are either, it's black or white, but she's in the middle. So this card is showing black or white, but she's in the middle of this black and white, so the gray area. But in this card, she's surrendering something. I'm always seeing, I don't see this as much as a victory because it's a white flag. You know, if it was a different color flag, I'd be like, oh, she's reeling into a victory. But I'm seeing it as a white. So it's telling me, like, you know, I'm waving the white flag. You know, you got me. Kind of like, I'm gonna relinquish that. You know, I'm gonna relinquish the fight. You won. You know, but I'm still going to be strong, and I'm gonna move full steam ahead. And I'm in the gray area, and I still have my armor on. So I feel like she has her armor on, and she's protected. You know, like she has her armor on to protect her, going full steam ahead. The only thing I'm worried about is there is some vulnerability in here in regards to her face, meaning that she's left the area of her open, you know, for attack. What's the cross to bear in regards to her going is that feeling of freedom. So in order for her to go and relinquish and say, okay, you won, meaning even with the relationship with Kevin, like, okay, you did me, you got me, you know, you had this long affair, I allowed it, you got me. You had a kid outside the marriage. You got all this money from me. You got me. I'm waving the white flag. Whatever. I'm not going to, but I'm going to go full steam ahead. And you taught me a lesson. So I got my armor on. I'm going to go full steam ahead in the gray area. I have a little bit of a vulnerability, but you made me go forward and protect myself. And I'm hoping that is this area of freedom. That is she really going to let everything go? So in order for her to go full steam ahead and wave that white flag and, you know, be in the gray and keep her protection and stuff, is that she has to kind of deal with this freedom. Remember, this card came out in the other reading too, that like a couple of years ago, even though she loved him at one point, a little bit, she had the ability to breathe and feel free, and the public embraced her, and I'm still seeing that. So she kind of has to embrace this freedom, meaning to let it all go. And her roses, people are throwing giving her flowers, and she's got to embrace that. She can't keep holding on to this old relationship. It's time for her, especially in 2022, to end things that don't serve you anymore, people, places, and things, and embrace that true freedom and that free start. Underneath it all is she's still very angry, you know, and underneath that she got a lot, because in order for you to be angry, that means that you're still holding on. So she's got to release this anger, and in releasing this anger, you know, I understand why she's angry. He's cheating on her. He didn't really come into the relationship with crap, you know, and he's leaving with a lot of her money and embarrassed her and this and that. But Wendy, you got to realize you did some of this yourself. A lot of women, we do a lot of things for love. And you did a lot of these things. You allowed him. Nobody's going to treat you. They're only going to treat you how you allow someone to treat you. You allowed him to do all this stuff to you. You allowed it. So you got to take some type of ownership. You can't be the full victim. Yes, he messed up. Yes, he's a SOB, this and that. But you allowed that SOB to grow. You allowed that SOP to feel entitled. So take some ownership and relinquish the anger. You know, this was a learning lesson. This was a 20-year, you know, learning lesson. And even though you're in your 50s, you still got a lot of life to live. And you can't let him, you know, kill you. You know, he would enjoy that. No, the best revenge is to live your best life. So let go of this anger. In the last year, you've been celebrating. You've been drinking. You've been celebrating and women power or whatever. I think you've had a couple of people that kind of, you know, embraced you, and they, in the debauchery or whatever was going on in the last year. You had 2 other women doing it with you. Let's see, what's on your mind? Judgment, public opinion. You're worried about what the public thinks of you, and thinks, and in that you feel vulnerable. In that you feel vulnerable. Also, I'm not sure he's the King of Swords. Could be Kevin. Could be Kevin. I forgot what he was. But on your mind, or this is your strategic plan of how you're going. Someone said that you are, I think it was someone who knew you or friends with you that said that, you know, you plan things, you're very strategic, this and that. This could be you. You're trying, and just like how I said here, is that you're contemplating, you know, some things are under a microscope, but you're contemplating your next move, you know? So that could be your strategy, you know, where are you going from now? So maybe you're not in such, even though you're angry, you gotta let that anger go and strategize your next, you know. I think it was Miss Jones that was talking about how smart you are and how strategic you are. So let that be. Let go of this anger. Let's see your strategicness. You still, the one thing you got to say about public opinion, most of, even though there's some people that are saying this is what you got, a lot of people want to see Wendy come from this. I think everybody likes a story of someone when they're down and they overcome. We like to see that, you know, feeling, and that's what my other reading kept showing, is that she needs to be that phoenix and rise from the ashes. And we all see, that's the true American story, to, you know, be down in the dump and then to persevere and to come out on top. So I think that there's still the public is still, you know, cheering you on from the sideline. You know, we still want the best for you. We still want you to come out of this. And she's still thinking about the family. She's still thinking about her family, you know, emotionally, everything. She still wants that family. Come on, Wendy, give it up. Let Kevin, you can find a family with someone else. You know, you don't have to have this family and what's in your mind and what's, you know, your son is now grown. You know, build a family with him, meaning that, you know, you guys get closer. You know, you and him, you know, do, you know, special mother-daughter things and stuff like that. You don't have to have that family that you envisioned. I still see, I'm still seeing the anger. The anger, but at the same time, you're very sexual. And it's messing up relationships in the future. Or it could even be the woman that kind of messed up your relationship. Or it could be you. You're now that woman, and you're not going to have successful relationships and stuff with all this anger and sexuality going on. And remember, you're coming out of that Empress energy. So your sexual energy will hopefully diminish some. And I see your son. So you're still angry about the relationship that's ending. But I'm worried also that you're putting too much emotionally on your son. Have a relationship with him. Do fun things and stuff like that. But don't spill all your emotional baggage to him. You know, first of all, he's not mature enough to deal with it. And second of all, he has some emotional issues himself. I don't know his birthday, but it's showing me he's an emotional kid. And he doesn't need to deal with your emotional baggage, okay? All right. So let's see about... Oh, it's 19 already. So let's see what's going on in regards to your job. To the Wendy Williams show. What's going on in regards to the Wendy Williams show? I want to do one card right here. What does Wendy need to do in regards to her self-development? I forgot what this deck is, but I like it. Stormy, she needs to learn. There's that white flag She needs to kind of put that white flag and give in. Like, give in, you know, and weather the storm. You know, weather the storm. Don't drown in the waves and in the trouble and the darkness. You know, balance yourself on there. You know, like any storm, you have a good ship. You can weather the storm. And be very protective and aggressive in regards to your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Be protective and aggressive in regards to your boundaries. Okay, let's go on with Wendy and the Wendy Williams show. I'm going to do it like a relationship. Okay, in the middle of it there's a lot of love. It's like her baby. There's a lot of emotions in regards to her and the Wendy Williams show. And that it's very emotional. I think right now, and they're going through a dark time. It's very emotional. And the emotions are messing up with the abundance and the financial aspect and the growth of the show. And a lot of secrets are coming out. Let's see for Wendy. Wendy is trying to reinvent herself. This card came out, and many of her, you know, she kind of put herself in a situation where she was stuck. And being stuck was a product of her self-imprisonment. You know, and especially with COVID and all that. You know, she already isolates herself. And I think the COVID and everything and what was going on with her husband, the breakup and all that, really, really kind of put her in a space where she didn't need to be. And so she needs to come from this self-imprisonment and this muck. And she still has the ability to reinvent herself in the business. You know what I'm saying? In her show, she still has the ability to come from it and reemerge herself, reinvent herself. Okay? Let's see about the show. The show's ready to go on. The show itself, the people behind it, is ready to go in a new direction. They're ready to go in a new direction. Is that direction, you know, someone else taking over, or in a new direction with Wendy? But they're ready to go in a new direction in an area where it's kind of unknown. What does she want from the show? She wants more money, more everything. What she wants from the show is her total ownership of the show. She wants it all. She wants the control of the show, the ownership. She's standing by looking at it. She's looking at the show right now as this is a volcano and it's about to explode. So she's on the sideline looking like you guys are going to, you know, she's looking to see if this is going to explode. Because I don't think that they are listening to Wendy. Remember I said a new direct? I don't think they're listening. She wants ownership of the show. She wants control financially, physically, everything of the show, of the direction, whatever. And they're trying to do in another direction. And she's seeing from the sideline that, yeah, you're still giving me money. Yeah, but I'm about to see whatever is going on. This volcano could either destroy everything, or, you know, with a volcano, it destroys everything, but when it cools off, it's the best fertilizer and stuff, you know, after it makes way for new things, new fertilizer, new growth. So she's still like a wait and see type of thing. What does the show want from Wendy? The show wants Wendy the show wants Wendy to pull a rabbit out of her ass, basically. The show wants her to do the direction, to fight for it, to pull the strings, to be the magician, the director. They want her to do everything. So that whole Sherry Shepherd thing, she's overcoming. There's this vulnerability. See how this card is? She's coming out of the ashes and she's being vulnerable to reinvent herself, and she's looking on at her show and stuff and seeing where it's going. But then look at the vulnerability on this one. And then the other card that it showed was the tiger or whatever, saying, you know, her boundaries, her strength. That's what she needs to do. And she needs to overcome the strength, be vulnerable, but also be a beast. Also, you know, fight for what's hers. They're feeling, the show is feeling a burden. They're feeling like they've been dragging the show, maybe even Wendy along, and it's an uphill battle. Like, they're feeling the burden. They're like, we've been dragging her along. You know, we're feeling this burden. A lot of people have been contributing to the pot. Could be these guest hosts and stuff. Everybody's been contributing to the pot for this meal. There's been a lot of celebration going on. Contributing could be a celebration. It could be the partying or whatever Wendy was doing back then. It could be the celebration that there's something coming together. But Wendy's not there yet. Wendy is not there yet. You know, Wendy's still going through things mentally. Her brain isn't there yet. She's not able to hear things right now. She's having some anxiety, and she's still not there. She's still not there yet. The show is also feeling that the husband, had a lot to do with whatever was going on. Also, they're ready to make a new, you know, they're ready to even work with Wendy or whoever to put a new picture in. You know, they're ready to come together and work on a new picture, a new thing, new show, new whatever, a new direction. They're ready. And I ultimately hope, I think Wendy's going to be okay. Okay, let me see. Wendy in the show real quick. She doesn't know what she wants to do right now with it. She wants to start something new. She's thinking about her son. But her son is like her husband. Maybe they had the same card. Her son is like, her son has a lot of anger and passion. And his words are, whatever his words and stuff are able to cut her in the direction. And maybe he has a lot of influence of how she goes ahead. You understand what I'm saying? I want to see Wendy's health real quick. Hold on. This is about to go, so I don't want it to. Wendy's health. The husband is the burden. And Wendy, you got to get over it. If she gets over the husband, the infidelity, the burden, and all that, everything can just turn around for her health-wise. She's allowing her husband and and I don't think it was his infidelities and all that to ruin her. She can still come out of it. You know, she can come out of it okay. How's her drugs use and alcohol use? The son is involved. The son isn't like, I think the son is highlighted it. I think the son is angry about it. I still think she's broken. She's still broken, so it's still a big possibility that the drugs and stuff can break her. What's her future of her being on her show, the Wendy Williams show? It's over. I think she's done with the Wendy Williams show as it is, or she's going to have to reinvent it into something else. So right now, the Wendy Williams show, as we know, it's the end, but it could be reinvented into something else. Let's see, one more thing. Does she still have to worry? Is death still, the energy of death still around her? That's what I was worried about. Is the energy of death still around her? She can still overcome. She can still reinvent herself. She's got to get herself in a better... She's in a mental imprisonment of her own making. Her own thoughts are her own imprisonment. It's like mind over matter. She's still... Death is still, you know, on the horizon, but she can overcome. She can come out of this fine. She can come out of this new. So it's up to her mentally what she focuses on the most, you know, and how her outlook on things. So I hope this helped. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Talk to you later.